This is Matt Johnson. We are back with another live episode of Real Estate Uncensored. How is everybody doing today? While we wait for people to jump on live with us, just want to bring in my co-pilot seat, as always, the junior grandmaster himself, Greg McDaniel. Greg, what is up today?
Matt, my dear good friend, I can tell you one thing. Post-Thanksgiving, right now when this is being recorded, note to self, do not overindulge because your body will hate you on Monday morning. I am currently going through that, but I am ramped up for this. I really am ramped up for this. Matt, you and I were talking, it's about some ideas, and some more have been coming to me, and I really think that what we're going to talk about today, people are going to be able to put into action. They're going to be able to use anytime that they really need to get into a high prospecting mode and be able to blend the high tech and high touch. I think there's some really good stuff here, so I'm really pumped.
Yeah. So today's episode is about high-tech farming, so how to stay top of mind. So we're going to go through some of the email and social media methods or means that you can use to keep in touch with people that you meet in your farm area, especially as you're adding them to your database, and hopefully you're building one of those, putting it into a CRM, keeping track of emails, gathering emails, asking for emails whenever you can, and then connecting with people on social media. The more avenues you have to stay connected with people, the better, as long as you leverage your time and you're not spending a couple hours a day on social media. It does not pay to do that, but if you manage your time effectively, which we'll talk about in some of the high leverage ways to use your time on social media, we'll get into that stuff today. If you do that, then it's effective and it's a great way to stay top of mind with your the people in your farm. Well, so with that, let's give.
They could just watch us. I mean, that would be very effective for their time. I mean, if you're going to spend all day watching something, you have chosen the right channel, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. As long as you actually put the stuff into practice, and that's what we'll talk about today. Stuff that you can actually do, actionable, action. All right.
So true.
That's right. So first, a few shout-outs. So before we get to the vendor shout-outs, you want to give some personal shout-outs, Greg?
Yeah. Okay. Sandra, thank you for reaching out of Atlanta. I know you're interested in the equity program. I talked to Pierce today, and this also goes for you, Mike, over in Vegas. There's more and more people contacting me asking if equity is in their area. Keep coming at me, guys. Pierce and I are devising a plan. We need to get a certain amount of agents that would work in your marketplace for us to be able to launch it into new marketplaces outside of our core market areas right now in California and the Bay Area. But we have a plan, so contact me. We can definitely make this happen for you guys. John, well, he was right behind me, one of my team members. He picked up a couple of investors off this. Dude, Matt, check this out. It actually has gone from an investment group. And now it's dovetailed into these investors have MBA ex-players, a group of them that now want to go buy stuff. It's just the thing is just keep on snowballing. It's unbelievable. Awesome. So and then so that's Sandra, Mike Patton out of Vegas. I will get back with you about equity as well. Thank you for contacting me. And then Terry Tucker, buddy. How are you, my friend? Thank you so much for liking our Facebook page. But I know that it's the holidays, guys. Reach out to me. Take the McDaniel Challenge, 925-915-1978. I cannot wait to talk to you. So those are my shout-outs, bud.
All right, cool. We've got a question I want to get to from the Lead Gen Description Objections Facebook group that I'm gonna surprise you with that one, Greg.
Good.
It's right in your wheelhouse, so don't worry. It won't be too outside. So for those, if you're watching this on YouTube, real quick, go ahead and hit subscribe. And then if you prefer the audio version, nestled right here in your earbuds, if you want to listen to us on your morning commute into the office or while you're working out, which we hope you do, stay healthy. Just go ahead on over to iTunes or Stitcher and subscribe there to get the audio version. So for any of you that are watching us live here, we like to do these on Google Plus because if you're watching us on the Google Plus page, you can actually submit questions right on the page. So with that being said, a couple shout outs to vendors, Get Viral Marketing. Just check them out at getviral.com. I want to thank them real quick for cutting a check to make Hangouts and podcasts like these happen. They are awesome. And then Equity, the program that Greg mentioned that people have been asking about, that is a buyer lead generation program that is built from the ground up to be perfect for a solo agent. So it generates the right number of leads that you can work consistently over time to produce about 1 to 2 deals a month without getting overwhelmed and having to shut off the prospecting because you're too busy with deals. It's the perfect amount for a solo agent. So if you're in the Bay Area or anywhere in California, definitely take the McDaniel Challenge, get a hold with Greg about that. If you're outside, let us know that you're interested, because if you get a group of agents together, we can start that program anywhere, provided we have enough agents interested. Is that right, Greg?
It is right, and we're very, very. I think on the 4th. So what is that? Friday, December 4th. We're about ready to probably ink a deal with a large private mortgage company that will take on any agent, and they'll just go big with this thing. So we almost have this thing completely booked up for you guys in the right areas, but we're really pumped about it. So yeah, get a hold of me 925-915-1978.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody wants to talk to you during the weekdays, you have the 6 p.m. Pacific kind of set aside. What's the only thing we ask for in exchange for just calling you up randomly and getting free coaching advice?
The only thing we ask from you guys is you tell everybody about us. We grow this thing from word of mouth. It's a fanarchy is what I think I heard from Art of Charm. Is what they call it, a fanarchy.
I like that. All right.
It's ran by you guys. So you help us grow. We want to get to 750 subscribers on YouTube before the end of February. We are rapidly growing on our subscriptions on YouTube. So thank you, everybody. And then just tell all your friends, agents, your office manager. And Matt and I are booking up our 2016 calendar for doing the Real Estate Uncensored live events in offices. Contact us about that and see what we can get on the calendar for you.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, before we get into the main content on high-tech farming, let me throw this question out to you real quick, Greg. So Leslie Melton, this is from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections Facebook group. And guys, if you aren't already a member of that, just head on over to facebook.com/group/gotobjections. That is Aaron Wittenstein's group. It is phenomenal. Me and Greg are both members. It's not our group. We didn't have anything to do with putting that together, but it's a great, great group of agents that all support one another and post questions. And
I wish I could take credit for that. I mean, that thing is just a ridiculously awesome source of stuff. Aaron, you did a wonderful service to all of us agents, buddy.
Yeah, he did. He really did. So the question is from a gal named Leslie Melton. Hopefully that's a gal. It's a couple in the picture, so I'm taking a wild guess that it's the gal and not the guy, so I apologize if it's not. So he says, I'm new to the business and struggling with lead gen. I'm way more comfortable calling complete strangers than I am friends and family that I haven't talked to in forever. I'd like to grow my database by cold calling, but I have yet to find a script that I think would work for me. Can you share some of your best cold calling scripts and techniques? And that question is really broad. I don't necessarily want to get into the scripting part, but I just want to deal with maybe the mentality of, why is that person... What do you do when you're more comfortable when you're first getting into real estate and you'd rather talk with complete strangers that don't know you're new rather than someone that's a friend or family member that knows you're brand new in real estate? How do you deal with that?
Well, what I would do, Matt, is I would go find every single sold property in the area that's a success. So either at or above the listing price, get the Mojo Selling Solution product and then buy their mapping solution, and do calls talking about the success of what's going on in the neighborhood. And if the people are still thinking, are they maybe thinking about selling as well? You can do circle prospecting, and that's a really easy way to do it. You can do just listed, just sold. You can do pendings. You can do whatever. But the success is the most important thing. So if I'd call up and say, hey, Matt, your neighbor at 123 Main Street just sold and sold for $40,000 under the listing price. Not a success. Don't call on those. Call about the ones that, hey, Matt, your neighbor over at 2219, Mockingbird, just sold for, $32,000 over the listing price and went with multiple offers. You guys been thinking about maybe making a move. I would recommend doing those calls because they don't only know what you tell them. All right. So you can be brand new. You can be getting back into the business. You can be whatever. But as long as you just tell them that, look, this is what's going on. This is what I see the market doing. We're going to get into some other sites like Neighborhood Scout and a few others, and Snap, Home Snap, where you can go get just instant information about the neighborhood right around the home, so you can talk with knowledge. So don't worry, don't freak out about what if you're not going to have enough to say. Just those sites are easy, and we'll talk about those more in a few minutes. But that's the advice I would give.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I mean, when I first got in, I kind of felt the same way. I went directly after expired listings because I knew I could get the scripting down. I knew that they didn't know how inexperienced I was in real estate, and they only knew what I told them. And I was able to get into a pretty good marketing program that had really good scripts for expireds, and I just listened to the CDs at that time. Yes, I did listen to CDs.
I'm surprised they weren't tapes, Matt.
I know, cassette tapes. That's right.
Or even HM.
Well, at that point, I took the CDs and I recorded them onto cassettes to play them in my vehicle. That's, to any 20-year-old, we just sounded like we're speaking Greek, but
they're like, "What is that? Is it kind of was close to like a phone booth? What are those?"
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get into high-tech farming, shall we?
We shall.
So,
Well, let's lead us off.
Well, let's start off with email marketing. So this to me is probably the simplest and most effective way to keep in touch with people as you're adding them to your database. So you always want to be asking for email addresses whenever you're calling and anytime you're out there door knocking. We've talked about scripts for that. I don't know how much you want to get into that, Greg, but theoretically, every time you're talking with somebody, you should at least be asking and finishing off the interaction by offering them something of value and then asking for their email address in return. The scripts are a little bit different depending on whether you're doing it in person or whether you're doing it over the phone and what type of call you're making, so I don't want to get bogged down in that. I really want to focus more on the high-tech side, which is once you have the email address, which is the high touch, the getting of the email address is the interpersonal stuff, right?
Right.
So once you have the email address, let's get into a little bit of some of the different follow-up options for how you can use the email address and what you can send them. That's an extremely leveraged use of your time to keep in touch with those people. So I'm going to throw out some things. So, and Greg, you use this, home actions. We're talking about a $50 a month newsletter, like an email newsletter program. I think it sends it out every couple weeks.
Yep.
So this is something very affordable for the average agent, and believe me, this is worth, if you value your time at about $25 an hour, they put out something that is far more professional than you ever could spending 2 hours of your time, and that's even if you're a graphic designer. I mean, there's just it's such a leveraged use of your time. There's no reason not to do something like that.
Very true, Matt. The one thing about home actions that people need to know, if you haven't heard about it, no one talking about it in your area, you need to go and get a hold of. Oh crap! We'll put the information for the contact for home actions. But if Matt and I are in, Bob Jones, the real estate agent's, contact list, and then another agent has both maybe Matt and I in their contact list as well. Bob Jones, the first agent to submit the email address to both of us, owns our information at that point. Home Actions will not be sending out multiple emails from different agents to the same people. So go and get involved with this as quickly as possible. I really have enjoyed it. We get a lot of good, results from it. You have a back end where you can see who's logging in, what they're liking, what they're sharing, what they're clicking on, the whole nine. Then you can go back and follow up with them if you'd like to. Or have your assistant follow up with them and say, hey, Matt, how did you like the article about, 10 ways to keep your garden from freezing in the winter, or whatever it is, right? The most popular link on that series is the very last one, and it's like, what's going on in your neighborhood? You can click on it, you can see all kinds of events, parties, whatever is happening entertainment-wise. They have that link there. I actually use that link all the time, because it's incredibly, there's a lot of stuff you don't know that's happening, and it's a really cool way, and you can then take that and reconstitute that information out onto the web, to take it, post it out in Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, any of these, and be specific. Hey, anybody going to blah, blah, blah party, on one thing, or hey guys, here's a resource for you, click this link and find out what's going on around you. You can reuse it multiple times. That's the best part about it. You can take all that content and repurpose it different times until you get the next email. So you don't have to go back and think up what you want to write about. It's just there, and it's a link back to something branded for you, which is for $50, you can't beat it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's another thing about one of the other sources I was going to bring up, which is Keeping Current Matters.
Oh yeah,
which is like a subscription-based service. I think you have that. A lot of other agents, a lot of the top agents have that, because they'll put out content that's very social media ready. Graphs, charts, infographics, stuff like that. Stuff that you can very, very quickly kind of reuse, repost, reformat. Throw it up on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever the case is, with maybe some commentary if you like, just to add some value and add your perspective to it. But it does take a lot of the thought out of, like, what do I talk about? What do I say? What's going on in real estate? I don't want to do a bunch of research. Like, there's really not. If you're a solo agent, unless you have several assistants and buyer's agents that are working deals for you, your time needs to be spent with people, on the phone, in person, etc., not searching for things to post online on social media, right? So a subscription to something like Keeping Current Matters, a subscription to Home Actions is a very leveraged way to spend your time, to where a lot of the research is done for you, and then it's just a matter of you taking it, packaging it up, adding a few comments here and there, and putting it out on your social media networks.
Yeah, if you guys want to be a little bit more on the traditional side and you don't want to do that, you want some, or maybe your budget's so low that $50 a month is cutting it pretty tight. You guys go to realtytimes.com. You can go get articles out for buyers, sellers, homeowners, HOAs, all kinds of stuff, and they're timestamped so that you know when they are written. And they're written relatively recently, but you can go back, and a lot of them are some evergreen content. Evergreen means that it's always relevant information.
Yeah, it's not time sensitive.
Exactly. It's not like, well, today spring market, the spring update on your market is blah. Well, that's over as soon as that recording is watched, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But this stuff is, you can go watch it, and what I would do is like a page, maybe page and a half max, like double space printing, and it's about all kinds of interesting things. Read it, regurgitate your thought on it, and then post it with your take on it. That's a free way of doing it, or even freer, which is easier to, if you want visual stuff, go to Pinterest, type in social media marketing, type in real estate market, type in whatever, get some infographics on those things. If you guys don't know what infographics are, they are freaking awesome. They're basically very well, you go figure it out. You guys go look.
That's a Google infographic, and you'll see. Yeah. Everyone's seen one. They're very cool. Yeah, Keeping Current Matters has a lot of those.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to find that. Back into the email realm, there's another company out there called Happy Grasshopper that does kind of text-based follow-up emails. And they're fun. They're offbeat. It's you have to make sure it matches up with your personality, because they're not traditional real estate themed follow-up emails. They're more they're personal, they're stories, they're a little bit quirky. It's good writing, better writing than most agents can do on their own. So again, it's another highly leveraged use of your time, but it does have to work with your personality and with your market. So make sure to check on that first. And they also do some customized email drip campaigns. So.
Right, but it's also written by a human, So if you don't like what they have, guys, in the archive, wait a couple of days. There'll be new content in there. They're like $13 or $14 a month, maybe $14.99 or something like that. And they you only send out once a month. And I like them a lot because they have nothing to do with real estate at all. It's just like, hey, Matt, did you see this funny article about this Southwest stewardess who sang, or this crazy song, whatever.
Yeah, it really is just purely staying top of mind. It's not real estate, market updates and stuff like that.
Yeah, because when you're out there publishing stuff, guys, remember, keep the 80-20 rule. 80% non-business, 20% business about the real estate. Talk about things that are relevant to people. Find things that you're actually interested in, or that you maybe had a conversation with someone about. Go do some research on, ballet dances or something. I don't know, that you don't know anything about, and send a funny video, or do a little write-up, or give a little piece of information. Just stay, like Matt says, top of mind. And have fun. I mean, when I post, I do a lot of videos, as you guys know, but. When I do posts on videos that are relevant to people outside the business is when I get the most interaction. Like, okay, I sat down. I don't know why I did this. I was compelled to do this for some reason. I sat down and I'm like, shit, I have absolutely no freaking food in my damn refrigerator. So I'm like, I just took a photo of this bare ass refrigerator, and I'm like, and I typed in like, this is the photo is the complete definition of a bachelor, no food in fridge with 2 beers. I had like 80 or 90 people like that photo, and like 25 to 30 comments. I'm like, it is proven that it's an emotional thing that people interact with. Because if you go and you say, today's update on real estate market, mortgage rates, skyrocket, buy now, people are gonna be like, ugh, boring. But if they can relate and be like, haha, I used to be that guy. Or, the girls are like, oh, that poor thing, he needs food, or whatever. It just it creates an emotion. So I'm trying to let you guys know, if you haven't seen the photo, go to my Facebook page and check it out. It's literally depressing.
It is hilarious / depressing. Although not depressing for me, just depressing on behalf of you. My refrigerator does not look like that. It's actually stocked with food that I actually cook for myself like a human being. Yeah, I know. It's God. I don't have a typical bachelor fridge, but that's all right. So sticking within the email realm. So
I cook.
Yeah, what's up?
I cook.
I actually have seen some of your Facebook posts about cooking. You might be a more advanced cook than I am, so I do find it funny that your refrigerator is all of a sudden barren. I don't know what that's all about.
I spend so much time preparing for this podcast, Matt. I don't have time.
I know. You really put your heart and soul into it. Heart and soul, and apparently all the chicken in your fridge.
All the chicken.
All right. So email, getting back to email. So let's talk about, we've talked about how to take like the emails that you gather and put them into a regular follow-up program that's ideal for pretty much anyone that you come across. But let's talk about segmenting out the people that are in your email list or your contact list a little bit. And this is for more, I guess not more advanced, but once you're further along in the business to where, $50 a month isn't a big deal, and you're starting to leverage your time, maybe you're thinking about hiring an assistant or whatever the case is, but you're not so much worried about where the next deal is coming from. You have your lead gen systems a little bit together. So now you can start worrying about following up and making your lead conversion more effective, right?
Right.
So, Greg, you guys use prime seller leads, and you're using the back end of that system to run these like drip campaigns, effectively where you're communicating with people by email in a preordained way. The content's already written; it's loaded up into the back end of PSL, and once they start on a certain campaign, it follows that that through automatically. It sends them these certain emails automatically. So, it allows you to keep in touch with people in a very leveraged way. They also get your home actions newsletters. They get other stuff, but then they're getting very targeted content based on whoever they are, whether they're an internet buyer lead or a seller lead or whatever the case is.
Yeah, very, very strong call to action follow-up email sequences they have there. That's what I really like about them, which actually reminds me I've got to call them. Thank you, Matt.
Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, and this is not like an endorsement of prime seller leads, although we do highly recommend them, and because it's based on personal experience, Greg, with you using them. But the principle is the same. So you can go out and get a program like Constant Contact or iContact for about $10 a month, and you can use their autoresponder feature to build your own follow-up systems. Now, I wouldn't recommend trying to write all the content yourself because there's places where you can get the content for free. One of them is actually on the front page of Viral Marketing's website where you can get the campaigns that were written by the CEO himself and then have been modified and improved over the years of Viral Marketing's existence and work with a ton of real estate clients. So if you go to getviral.com and you scroll all the way down to the very, very bottom, it'll take you a while to get there. But there's a little link at the bottom that says looking for real estate follow-up campaigns. If you click that link, it goes directly to Viral Marketing's Google Drive, where they have, I think it's 11 at this point, 10 or 11 different email follow-up campaigns that are all written. They're publicly available. All you do is just click on it. You can download the whole thing, and then you can go over to iContact or Constant Contact or whatever the case is, and you can load those emails right up. Just copy and paste, and whenever you enter a new contact into that system, you can set it to receive that set of emails. So depending on what list. Now, if you want to get it a little bit more sophisticated, you can split it out into different lists, and you can have your list for buyers, you can have your list for sellers, and you can have different follow-up campaigns for each one. As long as it doesn't take up too much of your time to where it's pulling you out of prospecting, great. It's definitely something worth doing. But as you get further along, you'll definitely want to sign up with something like Prime Seller Leads where they have it built in, and then you're not setting up those systems yourself. You let somebody else handle that. For a couple $100 a month, it's well worth it to have all that set up and kind of built for you.
Oh, absolutely. You're not paid to write script, guys. You're just not. Frank over at Viral, he is paid to write script. Let him do the writing. Get out there and prospecting. And guys, we're not going to let you off the hook. Like Matt said, this is not going to substitute. Oh, I did some prospecting today. I followed up with someone. No. That's follow up. The other one's prospecting. That's outbound. For going to talk to somebody, and that's you can use contextually. It's another really, really cool system. Don't ask me to spell it. I'm dyslexic. But it's contextually, and what I like about them is they have some other really good stuff too.
I'm not dyslexic, and I'm not sure I know how to spell it, but okay.
I'm looking at my sheet right here that I have all these different apps and everything on, and I'm so dyslexic I've misspelled it on the sheet. And
I believe it. The question is, if you misspell it on the sheet, when you read it back, does your dyslexia take over and then you accidentally spell it correctly?
No, in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's contextually. But why is there an R? I don't know. But what it is...
Yeah, there's not supposed to be an R in there. Okay.
No. I'll just scribble it out. No, it's not there anymore. But contextually, what it does, guys, it's a couple bucks a month. But they can put all different email addresses into different buckets. Okay, everyone on iTunes, I just did air quotes. And buckets are lists. All right, and then you can pull from whatever list on a daily basis, 5, 10, or 15 different people that you can directly follow up with. They have pre-written scripts in there. You can write your own scripts. You can do one-off notes. What this does, guys, is because life happens, right? and you're like, holy shit, I have so much going on. I'm there. It's inevitable. You're going to have people fall through the cracks. Okay. You're just not going to follow with Bob and Cindy, and shit. Bob and Cindy bought a $1.5 million home. That blows. So Contactually will take that away. It'll systematically help you follow up with people that you maybe you've forgotten about, or maybe that you're like, oh my gosh, these people are right on the brink of being forgotten about permanently, and then you wouldn't have made the money. This system puts them right back in front of you. You can do a lot of other stuff too, like when you get friends on LinkedIn, it'll send out an auto respond email that you could do out to them. Just go check them out. It's one of my favorites. And me being an agent, I sometimes glaze right over the contextually email in the morning. I'm like, I don't feel like following up with people. Click. I'm like, why do that? So don't be me, guys. But go out there and take a look at them. So you got PSL, you have Contactually, you have what else do we have? We got more than a few here. Happy
Grasshopper, Constant Contact, Eye Contact. Yeah.
We got.
There's a lot of different options, but the principle is the same. If you need help figuring out kind of what the best solution is for you at whatever stage of your real estate career you're in, I mean, make the annual challenge and just reach out to Greg, and he will be happy to chat with you and kind of share what the best move is for you. You know, I mean, we don't get paid for endorsing any of these people really, so it's more of a matter of just sharing what's kind of worked and what I see working for other top agents. But there, I mean, the point there is, I think probably the best point that Greg made is that none of this stuff is prospecting, right?
No, these are
back-end business systems. This is follow-up, yeah. So this does not replace, and I think a lot of agents fall into that trap, and I think, Greg, you would agree that, you know, agents will do just about anything to avoid having to pick up the phone and call somebody or get out there and meet somebody on the doors. Unfortunately, none of this stuff, it does not substitute for that. And believe me, we all struggle with that sometimes. I mean, call reluctance is not a phrase because it doesn't exist. It's a fact. Yeah,
especially in real estate. I mean, I have this guy Ron right here, and no, I'm not going to show that very long. All you people that work in my neighborhoods.
I'll send out the screenshot to anybody that's interested.
You would, you bastard. But I talked to Ron. Now, check this out. So I met Ron. He is a contractor that works with a lot of investors, and they have virtually unlimited cash with these multiple investors that they're working with. They're always looking for a new product. Now, I found him doing cold calls, outbound prospecting. All right. Well, today I knew I just did not want to follow up. I didn't, but I did. That's the good story. I did follow up with him.
You did. All right.
And he's like, he picked up the rang, and then he's like, oh, hey, Greg, what's going on, man? I'm like, holy shit, how does he know my I'm in his phone? That's cool. Awesome. So I kind of boosted my day a little bit, and he was like, hey, Greg, I really like this one property in South Walnut Creek that you told me about. I'm like, shit, what property was that? But I finally recovered, and I was able to talk to him about it. I told him about a few other homes that I knew about. But even for me, doing the follow-ups is very sometimes difficult, because you get that in your mind, like, they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to see me. It's just in your mind, you guys. They do want to talk to you because they showed interest. They liked you. They gave you the information, your phone number and email to follow up. So use it. Go do it. And if you really, this is the secret to the secret sauce here, guys. If you do this one set of actions daily, just 5 days a week or 6 days a week, whatever you want to do, you'll have so much business within a month you won't know what to do with yourself. Okay. What you do is, if you can, you do 300 outbound calls. Now, you don't have to talk to 300 people. If you do 300 attempts a day, and then follow up with 5 contacts that you already made contact with every day, you have so much business. Your business will explode. That's all you have to do. I'll take you 2 hours, 2.5 hours every day doing prospecting, and then you do 5 follow-ups. Guys, you'll have more buyers, more sellers, more CMAs, more homes you got to go show. You'll find out about more properties that aren't on the market that people are thinking about selling. You'll talk to more FSBOs. It's all it takes. Matt and I have talked about working the 4-hour work day, or 4 to 5 hour work day. Guys, you can do that right there and not have to work an 8, 10, 12-hour day, which most lunatics in this business do, like me. And get out in 5 hours deep, and you're like, okay, I'm out. Schedule the showings for tomorrow, or maybe work one whole 8-hour day. Imagine that, and show a couple extra people, make a couple extra $100,000. It's all up to you, and it can be done. And these systems will give you the ability to get out use the technology to go out and be around more people. So the social media aspect, like I said before, is making us anti-social essentially. This will put the social back into it because you're talking more about fun stuff than just business.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about social media in the few minutes that we have left. I mean, we've talked about, and you can go back to some of the other recent episodes. We've talked about native video. We've talked about running Facebook ads and stuff like that. You mentioned something where I was going to touch on as far as keeping your posts about 80% personal or at least non-business, and 20% real estate related. I think that's a great guideline. That goes for Twitter or LinkedIn as well. There was something I wanted to mention real quick, and it's from a great real estate coach as well as a phenomenal human being, a guy named Brad Korn, who really focuses on database marketing, referral marketing. And so one of the things that he likes to do, and he teaches, I think it's called like the 5x5 or something like that.
5x5.
Yeah. So he talks about every day, one of the things he does to keep in touch with people that he already knows that are already connected to him is he'll hop on Facebook and do like 5 personal messages, 5 comments. Usually there's enough happy birthdays, 5 happy birthdays out to people, and if not, like 5 friend requests. Like he'll go through people that has recently come into his sphere, like people that he has their email address for. He'll reverse look up their email address in Facebook to see if they have a Facebook account linked up. If he can't find it that way, he'll look for their name, find them on Facebook, shoot them a friend request. So 5 of those, 5 comments, 5 personal messages, 5 happy birthdays. If you do that, that alone, it's going to take you, 5-10 minutes at the most?
Maybe. Yeah, write the email.
How quickly you can form thoughts. How quickly you can form thoughts and send messages.
I don't know.
Yeah. Depending on how merry your holiday was the night before. But,
oh God, that's so true.
But that to me is like the best system for sales follow-up using social media, right? Other than just staying active and posting things in general. But as far as engaging with people without it overtaking your time and without dipping into Facebook constantly throughout the day and using it as a distraction from thinking or working, and that's the real danger, right? It's like, I need to take a mental break from whatever I'm doing. Let me hop on Facebook. It's one thing if you're on the Mojo dialer and you're working, you're just waiting for somebody to pick up. Like that's be on Facebook then. That's fine.
That's what I do.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great time to get that stuff done. So you can do both. Like you can do your prospecting calls. You can sit for 2 hours a day on a Mojo dialer and do other things that are actually productive while you're waiting for somebody to pick up the phone.
You have to, or you will lose your damn mind.
Yeah,
you literally lose your damn mind. But Ashley is a young lady. Sorry, Ash, if you're listening. She's in my office here, and she's I think this is her first full year in the business. I met her last year when she came through my course, and she did pretty well, and she really ramped up very quickly on her business. Her in 2015, her goal was to do 10 deals. Right, guys, she did exactly what Matt just talked about. She just sent out private messages to all kinds of people on Facebook. Guess how long it took her to do 10 deals, Matt?
3 months.
Well, close. 6 months.
6 months, okay.
Like 4 to 6 months, right in that ballpark. She did her 10 deals, guys. She's taking basically the rest of the half of the year off, just going, I don't really need to work. Her fiance does well, and so she's like, I got my grain, I'm good. Yeah. But it's from the Facebook messages. They're incredibly powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff, like simple things like that work. So the key, I think, there is just to be, especially if you're going to put out content, if you want to call it that, on Facebook, just be yourself. Keep it mostly non-business, and then throw in something that's genuinely useful.
Unless you're a nudist, and don't be yourself. Please remain.
Yeah, then don't be yourself. That's right. Please remain. You want to cover that right up. Okay.
Literally and figuratively.
Exactly. So let's talk about like next door pages and Facebook groups. So this relates directly to farming, right? So a lot of agents, they want to farm their neighborhood. They're there anyway. It's super easy to door knock. I would personally recommend that you take a very hard look at the turnover rates and other factors before just automatically farming your own neighborhood, because just because you live there doesn't mean you necessarily want to farm there. But one of the side benefits of farming your own neighborhood is you probably have access to your own Facebook group or next door page for that neighborhood, which gives you a big leg up, right? So if some other agent either currently dominates or would like to dominate your neighborhood, but they don't live there, they're going to have a hard time getting access to either of those 2 resources. And you should be able to, if you're a normal human being and have your ducks in a row real estate-wise, should be able to dominate that neighborhood if you live there versus someone that doesn't, right?
Right, but we're talking about nextdoor.com, that site. Guys, if and when you join this, be very aware that if you self-promote on that page, they will block you and kick you off faster than you can say hello, and they will be saying goodbye. So like Matt and I were talking about earlier, you need to bring content to those pages. Talk to the person who is running those pages and say, what can I do to bring value to the readers? That way they'll view you as an asset. And Matt, being the dum-dum that I am, like I have a Facebook page or group called the 925. That's my area code, right? And people randomly find this damn thing and want to join it. I don't think I've posted it since like 2012.
Okay.
Total mental fart on my side.
Okay.
I'm going to learn how to work on and set them maybe a feed to that, or just getting information and posting articles, doing interviews, posting them in there about what's going on in the 925 in your zip code. I have another one called the Keys. That's where I live, is in the Keys. It's an 800 unit complex. And it's mainly run by old Russians and old Persians who probably don't have Facebook accounts, but the younger renters definitely do. And so I made business cards up and I passed them out of the pool, and got a few people to join it. And then, well, me being a real estate agent, I found a prettier, shinier something, and I chased after it.
Promptly stopped doing that.
It worked too well.
So well, you immediately stopped.
Yeah. So well, I quit doing
Can I give a short lecture on systemization now?
Absolutely.
Okay. Please don't do that. For all of you who just listened to Greg and his horrible example of how to live, please do not do that. If you find something that works, turn it into a system and keep on doing it, and make it a system that you can do repeatedly over time, as opposed to something that becomes so time-consuming that then you have to stop as soon as it becomes successful. And
it's very true. I mean, a lot of people, they don't justify, Matt, and you're so right. And guess who's to blame? Another one right here. Is that you don't, in your mind, you don't say, well, Matt, I can take this hour or 2 hours or half a day or whatever amount of time it's going to take to set up that system, because next time it takes place, every time you do it, your time investment dramatically falls off, and your income can go up, because now you don't have to do that process for the buyer, for the CMA, for whatever it is, and it's just done. So invest in your future, guys. Set the time up to do the systems. And when I'm saying this, I'm talking to myself, okay? I really mean that. Greg, listen up here, pal.
No, I am too. I mean, it's a struggle, because it does take time on the front end. It takes more time to set up a system the first time than it is to just go ahead and do it, right? But speaking of systems, like, you want to set stuff up like that as if you had to teach somebody else to do it. So you would think about it in terms of, okay, is this worth hiring somebody to do it? And if the answer is no, then you probably shouldn't be doing it either. So if the answer is yes, it is worth hiring. I mean, think about it. If it's not worth paying somebody else $10 an hour to do, then why in the world are you going to do it? And when, as an agent, your time is worth at least 2 or 3 times that, and that's at the minimum. So if it's not worth paying somebody else to do it for $10 an hour, you probably shouldn't be doing it. If it's worth paying somebody $10 an hour to do it, the question is, how would you even show them how to do it? That's the level of thought you need to put into some of this stuff. And so if you're going to do like a Nextdoor page, if you're going to do a Facebook group, great. Figure out what type of things you're going to post, where you're going to get the information from. Set up Google Alerts, set up either LinkedIn Pulse, Flipboard, or some other type of system or little app that will pull in content that you can repost to the group, and just make that a system. Every Tuesday I'm going to look through my Google Alerts and all this stuff, and I'm going to look for content to post. I'm going to create 3 posts. I'm going to post them Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, and then I'm done. Whatever it is, whatever your system is, just turn it into a system, turn it into something that's very simple and repeatable, and just make a McDonald's thing out of it. Just systematize the crap out of it, and then that way you don't have to think about it, and the next time you go to do it, it's just like you have a little checklist, you run through the checklist real quick, and every time it gets faster. And I think it was Ivan Meisner, the guy that founded BNI. I was listening to him on a podcast, I want to say like 3 or 4 months ago. He says that one of his goals every day is to save himself time tomorrow. Like, that's one of the questions that he asks is, did I do something today that will save me time tomorrow and every day after that? And that made a huge impact on the way I look at things. Yeah, it was a great way of looking at it, because people look at systems or just any type of like mental thought like that where they have to put more time into something today to save themselves time tomorrow, it's like it's almost as like an expense. It's pulling me away from things that need to get done right this second.
Interesting.
But if you ask yourself that question every day, how did I save myself? Did I do something today that's going to save me time tomorrow? It forces you to kind of look at things in the other direction. Rather than looking at it as, okay, this is pulling me away from other urgent stuff that needs to be done, it forces you to think in terms of, I don't want to be this busy tomorrow. How can I make myself less busy tomorrow so that I actually have time to focus on the important things?
Goes right back to the 5-hour workday or 4-hour workday, you know?
Yeah, like, you'll never achieve that if you don't think of things in those terms.
No, an important thing, guys, is not checking your Facebook status. That is not an earth-shaking, you know, thing that needs to be done immediately. Speaking of Facebook, I went back and I'm on the 925 group, and yes, I was right. My last post was November 2nd, 2013.
Seriously, wow.
Yeah,
and people are still finding it.
And people are still finding it, which that is going to change. You guys try to find me the 925. I'll see if I can make this a better page for all of you guys here. But there's something else, guys. Being top of mind, like we've talked about in these different, you know, tricks and, you know, life hacks or whatever you want to call them. Don't forget that you also need to be investing in yourself. Okay, so you need to be continually watching me and Matt, you know, with the stuff that we're going out and finding for you. Go out and listen to Super Agents Live with my boy Toby Salgado. You know, there are just a number of just fantastic. Who are some other good podcasts really quickly that you can spout out very, very quickly?
Pat Hybens I would recommend highly, and then if you like Google Hangout format like this where it's video and or audio, you can check out Joshua Smith's the GSD mode. That's another really good one. He interviews some really top guns in real estate and in like fitness and general entrepreneurship. So his is like a mixture of a little bit of everything, but it's really, really good stuff. He's a good interviewer too.
There is another one of my favorite podcasts. I'm looking it up. Lewis Howes, guys, The School of Greatness. Yep. Really good, real positive one. And I don't know, I just found this podcast, Matt, and I'm so thankful that I did. It's called Real Estate Uncensored. I'm kidding. It's called Real Estate Today Radio. It's a radio show that's on the East Coast, and then they put it into a podcast format, guys. What I like about this so much is that it gives you up-to-date, real-time market stats, what the market is doing. You know, they interview top people in the industry, so you as an agent can learn about what the market's doing, and what the trends are going. Hear the interviews that they do. If I'm not listening to our old stuff or Toby's or someone else, I'm listening to this. I mean, it's phenomenal content.
Very cool.
You got to work on yourself. Don't just try to work on staying in front of someone, because if you get in front of them, but yet then you don't really have anything intelligent or entertaining or, you know, anything to say to them that's going to help them, you know, steer towards you in business and in a friendship that you're building, then what the heck is a point? You know, be the smartest person in the room if you can. And
or at least have an informed opinion. So I mean, information is getting to the point where it's frictionless. So you know, buyers and sellers will often have as much or almost as much information as an agent, right? So then your value becomes, how do you interpret that? Which means you have to have an opinion. You have to know things, and then you have to be able to form an opinion and get a, you know, on where the market's going. Yeah, you have to know stuff.
But a lot of the times, you know, back in the day when my father was running the business, I mean, the leverage an agent had was, I am an agent. I have the MLS, the multiple listing service. Nobody else has this. Well, sorry guys, Zillow, Truly, Redfin, all the rest of those guys, that won't buys. Yep. So what's your value add? Why are they going to work with you guys? So be intelligent about it. Talk with
you. You are a consultant. Your job is to interpret and apply the information.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. Well, let's send this baby home. So
I think we gave him a lot today.
Yeah, we did. Shit, so as always, we went about 45 minutes, which we try to keep these things at like 22 to 30. And I don't know. Every time I start off by saying, Greg, can we please keep this under 30 minutes? It goes longer. I didn't even try it today. I did not even try it. I just knew. So a quick shout out to Viral Marketing, getviral.com. Check them out. Over 400 clients in real estate and other industries are using them, Greg included, to keep top of mind with their database through video and email marketing. As well as the equity program, which Greg mentioned at the top of the show. There's a lot of people that are expressing interest, especially if you're in the Bay Area or anywhere in California. take the McDaniel Challenge, get in touch with Greg about that. It's a great way to generate a manageable number of buyer leads for you as a solo agent. It's built from the ground up for solo agents. And then if you're watching this on the replay, subscribe on YouTube. If you want the audio versions, head on over to iTunes or Stitcher and subscribe there. Thank you so much for those that watched live. We really appreciate it. As always, tell a friend in real estate about the show. And Greg, if you want to give out the phone number again for the McDaniel Challenge, you set aside 6 o'clock, 6 to 7 Pacific every day, right? Every weekday.
Well, Monday, weekday.
That's right, Monday through Friday.
Saturday and Sundays, no bueno. McDaniel Challenge, guys. My personal cell phone, which I sound like I almost forgot there for a moment, is 925-915-1978. Do yourself a challenge, guys. It's free freaking coaching. Honestly, why wouldn't you pick up the damn phone? The worst thing that's going to take place is we're going to become friends. You're going to follow me on Facebook, and you know what? We're going to be able to have a lot of banter. Like, Eric, what up, playa? That is a big man, by the way, dude. The guy was standing at the bottom of a hoop and like grabbing halfway up on the net. I was like, damn, I thought I was a big guy. Yeah, but I look forward to talking to you guys. So pick up the phone, please. 925-915-1978. Pick up the McDaniel Challenge. Let's talk. Free coaching.
That's right. Cool. All right, and that way you will be on the next episode of Real Estate Uncensored as one of Greg's shout-outs, which is always fun.
Oh, yeah. And, guys, we're going to be starting to get panels together of people that are a part of the show. So if you guys want to be on one of our panels, it's going to be coming up in 2016 as well. Let us know about some of the stuff like Victoria. You took out some of the marketing and you put it right into action, and you're getting good results. Eric, the same thing. Ryan in North Carolina, you the same thing. Is it South Carolina or North Carolina? It's North Carolina. Anyways, you'll probably email me and correct me. Melissa in the Pacific Northwest, you're taking some of the stuff that we're putting out there and it's going into action. So if you guys want to be a guest on a panel with us, let me know. Pick up the phone or email me.
Yeah. And if you know anybody that's doing something innovative, we want to hear about it. We want to interview them on the show. Yeah. So send them our way. And then if you would like to have us speak in your office, in your broker's office, whatever the case is, just run it up the flag, take the McDaniel Challenge, shoot Greg an email, a text, a phone call. We're looking to book in-person appearances for 2016, basically calling them Real Estate Uncensored Live, where we'll do live in-person trainings on prospecting and systems and salesmanship and all kinds of good stuff. So a lot of very, very fun stuff coming in the next year. So stay up to date with everything. It'd be awesome. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and check out McDanielRealEstateSystems.com.
Yeah, guys, this is a fan arcade. It's run by you. I still give a shout out to Art of
Charm.
Thank you. Holy shit. Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. We truly do care for you. Please keep the good love coming. We cannot wait to hopefully start meeting some of you guys in person.
That's right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one here Wednesday live at the same time, 3 p.m. Pacific. Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.